If you want to have your best year yet, keep watching this video because I'm going to be telling you all the things that I used on previous years that really worked super well for me, and other things that I've learned along the way that maybe I have changed in the way that where I perceive them, or that I see that they would have worked better in a different way, or things that I've been improving during the process. So this is not the type of video of like, just write down your goals and do this and do that. No, I'm going to be more practical on like how to do things so that you can actually accomplish everything that you want and more, go after your dreams, etc. So this is not like one of those like magical videos that's like everything's gonna be all right, blah blah blah. Yes, things are gonna be all right, but there are certain things that you need to know before making all those things happen. The first thing is, when you write down affirmations or intentions for the year or goals or whatever you want to accomplish, try to be as focused as possible. Why? I was having this conversation with a friend the other day, and we realized that one of the problems that we both had on previous years when we sat down to like write our like what the things that we wanted to accomplish in the year, we were too broad with like, I want to be healthy, I want to be fit, I want to be this. We were not specific about where we wanted to direct our energy to. And the problem is, like, as you probably know, you cannot always be motivated to do a certain thing that you want to accomplish. There's going to be days where you're going to be super motivated, and there's going to be days where you just want to like lay in bed and do nothing, or you might feel more depressed, or whatever you're going through. The more focused you are with your intentions of what you want to do, the easier it is to force yourself to be motivated to do that thing. For example, if you tell yourself, I want to, like, maybe your broad goal is like, I want to be more flexible this year. That's one of my goals when it comes to like yoga and fitness. And it's like, okay, but what exactly do you want to accomplish? So for me, it's like, okay, I want to be able to do the splits again. Okay, so how do you accomplish that? So like doing the splits is a more specific goal of like just being flexible altogether, which I mean, I also want to get back flexibility and this and that, but splits is like one specific thing that I know that I want to work on. And maybe there's back bends too, but let's just stay with that one. What can I do the days that I'm more motivated, and what can I do the days that I'm less motivated? And make like like high energy and low energy things that you can do. Because for example, some days I'm going to be like, oh, I'm super high on motivation today, so I want to do a 1 hour yoga class today. And days where I'm less motivated, I'm like, okay, how can I maintain and work towards that flexibility in like lower doses of energy? So it's like, okay, you can stretch throughout the day and do maybe 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, because that works exactly as good as doing an hour of yoga. If you do some stretches like in the morning, in the afternoon, and whatever. So it's like having that specific goal, like that thing that you can focus your energy to. Like two options, like if I'm high energy, I'm going to do this. If I'm low energy, I'm going to do this. And both of them are going to serve me in the long run, because you don't want to be always forcing yourself too much, because like that's like, we're not robots, we're humans. So we're not meant to be giving our 100% like all of the time. So like just have two things and be like, okay, I'm going to aim at like maybe 3 times a week of doing this, and the rest of the week doing the other thing. Or maybe even let's just start with like 1 day a week doing like 1 yoga class and the rest of them doing this. And maybe you can work your way up for like maybe 2 yoga classes or 3, you know, because I feel like it makes more sense to start small and build from there than to start big, then see that you're not able to do it, then get frustrated, then to start hating yourself, then to start resenting yourself, because that cycle is just like, it's gonna get worse. So we want to start from small to big, I think, from my experience. The second thing, which is kind of linked to this, is like, don't be too hard on yourself. There's gonna be days where you, as I said, gonna be giving your 200%, 300%, and then there's gonna be days where you're gonna feel like shit, or you're gonna be going through things emotionally or physically or mentally or whatever it is. And that is okay. And you need to be on your side when these things happen. And if, like you said, that maybe you were like gonna, I don't know, work out like specific times a week, and 1 week you're going through a breakup or something happened at work or whatever it is, and you don't feel like doing those things, take it easy on yourself and talk to yourself in like a kind and positive way. Like, yeah, just lay in bed all day and do nothing. You can do that if like that's the extreme of what you're feeling, but you can also be like, hey, maybe you want to lay in bed for like a few hours to just like process this thing, blah blah blah, but maybe you're gonna feel better if you work out later, or if you work on your journal or that project that you really like, because it's gonna make you feel happier and more connected to yourself. But talk to yourself in that self-compassionate way instead of punishing yourself, because honestly, and you've punished yourself in the past to like get yourself to do things, where has it gotten you? Because it has gotten me nowhere. Like the more I have punished myself to do things, I have gotten more resentful towards myself, and I kind of even rebelled against myself, even if those were things that I wanted to accomplish, because I felt like a strict parent, which is what my parents did to me. and I ended up not doing the things I wanted, thinking like I was doing them something bad when it's something to me because it's something that I really want to do. I hope that made sense. And together with that comes the next point, which is start forgiving yourself daily or weekly or whenever you want to make a practice of it. And just like even maybe start now to realize like what are the things that you are now maybe thinking like, oh, last year I could have done these things better, or you were so stupid because you did this thing wrong, or you fucked it up with this person, blah blah blah. Realize now that everything that you did in the moment, you did it the best way you knew how to do it back then. And the fact that you're now realizing that you could have done it better is because you learned from that experience. So forgive yourself for that thing, because you have to think like anything that you did last year, you did it the best way you could, or everything you've done like now even, or like if you make a mistake tomorrow, whatever it is. Don't see it as mistakes. Don't see it as like, oh, I fucked up again. Oh, I did this wrong again. Or this happened. No, just see it as like, okay, this helped me learn that I don't want to do this way, because I realized through this experience that this is something that I don't want to do. And even if it's kind of like the same mistake that you do over and over, and maybe you do it like 5 times in a row with the same person, every time you're going to be learning something new, so it's not going to be a mistake, it's always going to be a lesson. So try to see it as that and don't be hard on yourself, okay? Because that's the way to actually just like start growing, actually. Because maybe you're not going to feel like you're growing because you're thinking like, oh, I'm fucking up all the time. You're not fucking up. You're just learning and relearning a lesson until like it sticks to a point where it's like, okay, this comes natural to me, okay? This, like the next 2 things are important, and I know these are like the kind of things that you're gonna see on a lot of other videos, and it's like, make yourself a vision board. And not just a vision board that you're gonna see like maybe on the wall where you like look at it every day, but like put it on a wall that you see constantly. Put it in the background of your computer, because even like, for example, my vision board, like I made it the other day, it looks cute, right? It looks aesthetic. I'm gonna link the website that I did it down below, because it was like a free website where you can also like check other people's vision boards, which is really cool. And the thing is that I usually don't really look at like my screensaver on my computer and on my phone either, because if you look on my phone, I have like the mobile version of it. Can you see it? It's kind of like reflecting, but I think you can mostly see it. Okay, it's maybe like, it's mostly like almost all the same pictures there. Like I had to cut some out because like my phone is smaller, obviously. But having this like on my phone here, where I don't like, it's there but I don't directly see it, I feel like this is a way to like program your subconscious mind to constantly be seeing the images of like what you want to manifest, if you not talk in terms of law of attraction or whatever you want to see it. But it's just like a way of you reminding yourself like, these are the things that I want to accomplish, these are the things I want to accomplish. And it's just like, I feel like it's a way to just like reprogram your mind while you're doing other things, you know, because you might see the screensaver and it's there, but you don't really, like, you're not usually like focusing on it. You might be doing other tasks, but like your brain is like picking up on those images, being like, okay, I want to do these things. And aside from this thing, something that I feel like is very helpful, and it helped me a lot when it came to like manifesting specific things, is scripting. But in the way of like, imagine yourself a year from now, like first, whatever the day is today of February 2023, and write yourself a letter from that point, being like, I'm so grateful that I manifested my house, that I live with my boyfriend, that I found a perfect relationship, that I've met these amazing friends who I travel with. Write all those things down that you want to manifest for this year, or that you want to accomplish for this year in the present moment, and using a lot of like feeling statements like, I feel grateful, I feel happy, I feel joy, I feel accomplished, I feel whatever. As many like, you can look on videos on scripting, and if you want me to do a video on scripting, just let me know and I can do it. There's 2 things that you can do with this letter. First thing is go to this website that I've used more than once, where they like, you can put your letter in their system and they will send it to your email like a year from today, which is really cool. Even if you want to do it during the year, to like just send yourself like future letters. At the end, you end up forgetting that you sent yourself these letters, and one day they just pop off in your email and you're like, wow, that's cool to like check which things like ended up happening, which things didn't, which things like completely changed, or I don't know, it's just like really fun. But the second thing I recommend doing with this, like you can do both things at once if you want, but I know from experience that the time I manifested the most craziest things to me has been when I wrote one of these letters like maybe 4 months in advance to something that I wanted to be happening. Like it was, I think, May, and I wanted something to be happening in August, of like me being in LA with a specific person and working a specific job, blah blah blah. And I just wrote that letter for like what I wanted to be happening in August, and I would read that thing every morning. You know why? Like the last 20 minutes before you go to bed are like the 2 most crucial moments to like reprogram yourself and to put things into your subconscious, blah blah blah. And I would read my letter every day in the morning and at night, sometimes only in the morning. You don't need to do it every day because sometimes I also forgot. But the fact that I woke up and I directly read that letter put me in such a great mood, because I really believed like all these things are happening. All these things are going to be happening to me very soon. And I feel like that just put me in a vibration where it made those things happen, because I was in a really positive mood most of the time. Which doesn't mean that you dismiss your negative feelings, you know what I mean. Like if you're sad or if you're frustrated because you have a bad day, whatever, it doesn't mean that you dismiss those, because you are allowed to have any emotion and no emotion should be invalidated. But I feel like doing this is going to put you in a better view of the world of like, I'm going to be able to make all these things happen. And the last thing that I want to say is, this is something that I've kind of realized, but I already realized this a long time ago, but yesterday I kind of had that thought again. You are enough to have anything that you want from your goal list or manifestation list, or call it whatever you want. In the sense of like, I have had this thing in the past where I would say, yeah, I want to be making this amount of money a month, I want to be traveling, I want to be this and that. And I realized that, for example, I've been growing a lot on TikTok on the last year, 400,000 followers, which is like a great number. And it's like, you could be already making a lot of money from that, because like you are an influencer. Every time that I've been growing on that platform, I always thought like, yeah, but I don't have as many followers as this person, but I don't have as many followers or like ratio like this person. And I keep comparing myself to people and being like, yeah, but this is not enough. And I've been telling myself for like the past months that I didn't have enough followers to charge for things. I didn't have enough like things, blah, blah, blah. And it's not a matter of like you thinking like, oh, if she has this many followers, I don't have enough because I have 10,000. No. I've seen people with like 10,000 followers on social media making more money than I was making. Why? Because they thought they were enough. They thought their content was enough. They believed that they themselves were enough to be making the amount of money that they were making. So for any goal, and this was just like a personal example, but I feel like for any goal, if you struggle with feeling like you're enough, like I do, because of like childhood things and all, it's very easy to just feel like, oh, I'm not pretty enough to do this thing. So like maybe write all your goals down and think why you might not be feeling enough in certain areas to kind of work on that. Like for example, if you want to have like a fit body and maybe you're like, oh no, but I don't deserve this, or I don't work out enough, or I don't do this enough. Because this is something that I also thought, like there was this time where I remember thinking like, yeah, I need to stretch more. I need to do more in order to like attain these fitness goals. And I realized that the less I did over time, when I started to like work on this belief, the easier I got to the results without doing as much. Because you need to allow things to happen more than you need to force them to happen, if that makes sense. And I want to be doing a lot of things. I want to be traveling. I want to do collaborations with like hotels and this and that. And sometimes they're like, oh, but you don't have enough this, or you don't have enough expertise, or you don't have enough. Anything that's like you don't have enough or whatever, just use that to work through that feeling and just try to make yourself feel enough and be like, yes, I am enough to get whatever I want. I am enough to be making this amount of money. I am enough to have this house. I am enough to meet this partner. Because I feel like that's something else that I used to struggle with a lot, is that before I got into a relationship again, I spent like 3 years single. And all the time I was like, no, because I need to continue working on myself and healing myself, because I'm not healed enough to be in a relationship. Until one day I was like, Ada, no, like you can be in a relationship and continue healing. You don't need to be like healed enough to be in a relationship, you know? And I feel like this is something that we don't realize is there, but it's there. So try to figure out what your like not enoughs are and work through them, or have them in like somewhere in your room where you can see them every day to like practice affirmations or whatever it is. And this is all my advice for the new year. So I hope you really liked this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Let me know anything you want to let me know in the comments for like next videos, because honestly I don't know what other videos I want to film on this channel. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next week.